Hello, welcome back to Freebie Friday. We're doing a new game called Almost Home now. This is free on Steam. You can also get it on itch.io. This is done by a Chinese developer who goes by the name of Timberwell. When it comes to Chinese developers, it's pretty hard to get their real name, and I'm not even going to try. Well, we're going to look at this as a horror game. Very reminiscent of the PS1 era with fixed camera angles and tank controls, and we've got a little protagonist here who's a girl making her way home late at night after getting a sandwich from a shop. Hand-drawn pixelated art. Now both on itch.io and on Steam, this got great reviews for the atmosphere it provided, and one of the winning shot is this one here. Either it will continue, or if you turn towards the person following you, it will duck down. What a beautiful angle that is. That really unnerves a person because you don't get to see what's following you. You know something's following you. What this developer does well is build suspense in a short period of time. You've let's say a 7-minute game, divided into 4 different eras. Now we're going through the second area where there's just a park with holes all around, and the reason why the developer did this is he just wanted to unearth the player straight away into a what the hell is going on sort of thing. Why are there giant holes everywhere? And it serves really well. What most people don't know is that there was never a bad ending to this game. So there was only ever a good ending implemented. The dog has barked again showing that that monster is getting closer, making it their way towards us. Some people don't know that there's little offshoot paths where you'll come across dead ends, like we're going to come across a fallen tree here. I'm going to show you the complete game. The developer has done 3 games that you can access. You can access them all on itch.io. Only 1 game on Steam, this one, and this is his magnus opus, which isn't his first game, but it's the first game that you can access, as he seems to have deleted all his previous work. I don't think the developer exists anymore. Last game was 2022, and he seems to have handed it over as the trailer is now done by a YouTuber / lawyer who I think goes by the name of Nina Meep. Now, the last person developer who did the Cloud Climber, he made a statement which I thought was very profound. He said, you'll see that there's red sort of glowing bits sort of going through those holes, and just again wanted to unearth people in a short period of time. So Gavin Eisenberg said something. He said that the itch.io community, they kind of are very supportive because they know that people are just learning how to develop, how to make people scared, how to make products. So they're very supportive. When you open your product on Steam, you're opening it up to a lot more criticism, as you'll get a lot more people say, hey, this isn't AAA quality, this is a subpar, little experience. The reason why I bring that up is because Timberwell here got praise from both mediums, both itch.io and from those in Steam, saying what a wonderful atmosphere that you have created in such a short period of time. And one of the reasons is because the protagonist is a little girl, defenseless little girl, just making her way home, and we already sort of go into that atmosphere where we go, well, I need to protect her, I need to be her savior. As I said, originally there was no bad ending, so there was only a good ending. That is you dead on the floor there. That is your shadow self dead on the floor, which only was brought into context when the developer later made a bad ending, which we will talk about soon. But everything is reminiscent of that PS1 type of era, with fixed camera angles like Resident Evil, Alone in the Dark, Silent Hill. And as the monster gets closer and closer, it's having a deeper and deeper effect on your psyche. Now that is an Easter egg of items that were in previous games of the developer. So even though this is his Madness Opus and the first one you can access from what's accessible, as he's deleted his previous work, it's not his first game, as that was an Easter egg to other games that he has created before but has deleted them or and here we're coming up to what essentially is just a river. But in her mind, as the monster comes closer and closer, it's now turned into a river of blood. And as we go over the bridge, you'll see in the middle of the bridge, you'll see a shadow of herself appear again. Again, reminiscent of that monster behind us, which we never get to see. We'll only get to see the shadow. He is getting closer and closer and having a deeper and deeper effect on our psyche, sort of like the maybe the necromorphs do on Dead Space, where as they get closer and closer to you, or as you get closer to the monolith or whatever it is, it has a deeper effect on your psyche and you become suicidal, I guess. Similar effect is happening here as the monster gets closer and closer. Now my only criticism is a couple of these weird camera angles are only connected to one or two steps of the little girl. So if you keep pressing forward, you're going to go through the steps very quickly without actually experiencing the steps. Now we hit the monster. The monster's coming after us. I've turned the sound down a little bit. That thing that's is basically us is flickering in front of us, and the monster's shadow is coming up to us. As long as if we don't stop it, we can always get her home. And that was originally the game only came with that ending, and it eventually went back to credits where it said made by Timberwell. Thanks for playing. Yada yada yada. Then later on, through the suggestions of players, he added a bad ending to the game where the monster can catch up with you and you can die. And we're going to hit that now. I'm going to run all over the place. As I said, there's invisible walls, so once you hit an invisible wall on the right or left side, the monster can catch up with you pretty quick. I think even if you keep heading past your house, I think you will eventually hit an invisible wall. But that thing flickering in front of us is ourselves. So we've just run into the monster. Gonna turn the sound back up. And there we go. We're back at the park, and you'll notice we actually have a gun in our hands. So that might explain or give context to the holes at the park, the river of blood. We've committed suicide as the monster came closer to us. I don't know how we got a gun or why we had a gun. Yeah. Now that adds a bit of lore. What was the monster? This is the second game of the developer. Look, all you got to do is melee, endless amount of squares keep coming at you in order to develop a high score. You're a square yourself. As you can see, I died very quickly. The controls aren't great. I'm not really any sound here. There's no story. It's only just there's a million of these type of games on Steam. But going back to his other game, so that was his Madness Opus. He released that on Steam. He released that on itch.io. He got praise for it from everyone. I don't believe he's developing anymore. He did make one more game, and we'll look at that soon, called Intruder. I think this one's called Project Pit or something. But as you can see, that's all there is to this one. And the point of his first game is there's a little bit of lore there. Why did the monster need her to commit suicide? What is the monster? I died running off screen, apparently. There you go. I never knew. Yeah, Project Pit. Now we'll look at Intruder. This is the last game he made, 2022. Has a similar vibe. It's not the same, though. Again, a short horror. 47 cases of break-ins over the past 30 days. People have started hiding knives under their pillows. Deputy Rodriguez, which is, I guess, a nod to Dusk Till Dawn. There was on the right-hand side a sort of a picture of the Almost Home Now. So he does sort of give that linkage. You can pick up a hammer and a chisel or knife, which has no bearing on the game whatsoever. I could not get this game to work on itch.io. There seems to be a file missing or something. So we're actually watching the playment of somebody else. This is similar in nature, but it's not the same. And one of the things is, as you get closer to the monster, it isn't having a deeper effect on your mental psyche. Basically, you just got to wander around the home until you eventually find the monster. That's it. What I actually think Timberwell could make a name for himself here is if he connected the two games. If he connected the lore behind his first game, where a monster came and had this mental psyche effect on the little girl where she committed suicide at a park. She thought she was almost home. She never really was. And this monster, whether it's an earlier version of the monster that was in the first game, or maybe it's another monster that came down at the same time and the two are connected somehow. One's maybe trying to fight the other one. What is their purpose on the planet Earth, if this is the planet Earth? Different experience, similar in nature to somewhat. I think there is an ability, but as I said, the Timberwell seems to have passed it on now. The trailer to his first game is done by a YouTuber slash lawyer called Nina Meep, I think. And only the first game is free on Steam. And as I said, this game I couldn't, even though it's still on itch.io, I couldn't get it to work. I don't know if it was a file in the game that was conflicting against something on my software, or but I could not get this game to work at all. And now we're coming across the monster. Not really scary. The first one, beautiful atmosphere. That one didn't have it. It would be interesting if he connected the two of them together by adding a third game. Well, until next time, guys. Bye for now.